Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at the 8 parts of the Israel and Hamas peace deal. I'm reading the full text of the peace agreement between Hamas and Israel that was listed on the Times of Israel. I'll make sure that I put the link to this full article in the description for the video so that you can look at it for yourself. So let's start with the first part, which is the stage 2 preparations. It says, the parties and the mediators' objective is to achieve a final consensus to implement the May 27, 2024 agreement on the exchange of hostages and prisoners and return to a sustainable calm which would achieve a permanent ceasefire between the parties. All procedures in the first stage will continue in stage 2, so long as the negotiations of the conditions of implementing stage 2 are ongoing and the guarantors of this agreement shall work to ensure that negotiations continue until an agreement is reached. 2. Israeli forces withdrawal. Withdrawal of Israeli forces eastwards from densely populated areas along the borders of the Kuwait Strip, including Wadi Gaza, Netzarim axis, and Kuwait's roundabout. The Israeli forces will be deployed in a perimeter 700 meters, with an exception at 5 localized points, to be increased no more than 400 additional meters that the Israeli side will determine, south and west of the border, and based on the maps agreed upon by both sides which accompany the agreement. The third part says prisoner exchange. The 9 ill and wounded from the list of 33 will be released in exchange for the release of 110 Palestinian prisoners with life sentences. Israel will release 1,000 Gazan detainees from 8 October 2023 that were not involved in 7 October 2023. The elderly, men over 50, from the list of 33 will be released in exchange for an exchange key of 1 to 3 life sentences plus 1 to 27 other sentences. Avira Mengustu and Hissam El Said will be released according to an exchange key of 1 to 30, as well as 47 Charlotte's prisoners. A number of Palestinian prisoners will be released abroad or in Gaza based on lists agreed upon between both sides. 4 is Philadelphia corridor. The Israeli side will gradually reduce the forces in the corridor area during stage 1 based on the accompanying maps and the agreement between both sides. After the last hostage release of stage 1 on day 42, the Israeli forces will begin their withdrawal and complete it no later than day 50. 5 is the Rafah border crossing. The Rafah crossing will be ready for the transfer of civilians and for the wounded after the release of all women, civilian, and soldiers. Israel will work towards the readiness of the crossing as soon as the agreement is signed. Israeli forces will redeploy around the Rafah crossing according to the attached maps. 50 wounded military individuals will be allowed to cross daily, accompanied by 3 individuals. Each individual crossing will require Israeli and Egyptian approval. The crossing will be operated based on the August 2024 discussions with Egypt. 6. Exit of ill and wounded civilians. All ill and wounded Palestinian civilians will be allowed to cross via Rafah border crossing according to Section 12 in the May 27, 2024 agreement. 7. Return of unarmed internally displaced Netzarim corridor. The return is agreed based on the 27th of May 2024 agreement, Section 3A and 3B. On day 7, the internally displaced pedestrians will be allowed to return north without carrying arms and without inspection via Rashid Street. On day 22nd, they will be allowed to return north from the Salah ad-Din Street as well without inspection. On day 7, vehicles and any non-pedestrian traffic will be allowed to return north of Netzarim corridor after vehicle inspection, which will be performed by a private company, which will be determined by the mediators in sync with the Israeli side, based on an agreed-upon mechanism. 8. Humanitarian aid protocol. Humanitarian aid procedures under the agreement will be done subject to the humanitarian protocol agreed upon under the supervision of the mediators. Those are the 8 parts to the peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you will know when I have new videos, which will include calendars, and I will have the maps as well. So we'll dig a little deeper on what exactly this peace agreement means. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.